Agnes was an old woman who lived alone in a small village. Her husband was gone. Her children lived in the city for their work, so they were far away. Her only daily company was her servant, Martha. Her grumpy cat, Mr. Whiskers, kept the house loud with attitude. Agnes liked to think she was still young and full of energy. One morning, she woke up with a big idea.
Today,
She said proudly,
I'll bake a cake all by myself.
Martha, who had just arrived, froze in the doorway.
Bake yourself, ma'am?
Yes,
Agnes said, already pulling out flour.
how hard can it be? Flour, sugar, eggs, simple.
Martha knew better than to argue.
Very well, ma'am.
She said quietly.
But maybe I'll just stay close.
Agnes tied on her apron and began her masterpiece. She cracked the first egg straight onto the counter. The second one missed the bowl entirely and landed on the floor. Mr. Whiskers pounced instantly, slipping on the yolk and sliding across the kitchen.
Oh dear!
Cried Martha, running for a towel.
Don't panic.
Agnes said.
It's all part of the process.
She poured flour next. A huge puff rose into the air and covered them both. They stood there, white as snowmen. At that moment, the doorbell rang. It was Mr. Parker, the next-door neighbor, holding a basket of tomatoes.
Morning, Agnes. Thought you might like some.
He stopped mid-sentence, blinking at the flowery sight before him.
Good heavens. Did a snowstorm hit your kitchen?
Just baking.
Agnes said calmly, brushing her hair.
Everything is under control.
Looks more like a science experiment.
He chuckled, stepping in. Agnes ignored him and proudly pushed the cake into the oven. 10 minutes later, something started to smell strange.
Ma'am,
Martha said nervously.
the cake's rising too fast.
Agnes waved a hand.
That means it's enthusiastic.
A moment later, the oven door rattled, and the cake began to spill over. In seconds, it puffed, bubbled, and flopped right out of the pan. Half onto the oven door, half onto the floor. Agnes blinked. Martha's mouth fell open. Mr. Parker burst out laughing.
Well,
Agnes said at last.
that's one way to make a cake.
Martha tried not to laugh.
Maybe next time. A little less baking powder?
Mr. Parker wiped his eyes.
Or maybe next time. I'll just bring the cake myself.
Agnes crossed her arms but smiled.
Fine. At least my cake had its own style.
The three of them stood staring at the mess, flour on the floor. eggshells on the counter, and a cat still covered in batter. No one said a word for a second. Then they all burst out laughing together.